I think we can all agree that movies and TV series are awesome, and there's a movie for everybody. They will take you to a different place and make you feel, and I think that's what we all like, to feel. But some movies leave an everlasting mark. They change the way you see the world, the way you think. And that's what awesome movies do, and I think that's what awesome art does. It changes your personality. And I will share 3 movies and 3 TV series that have shaped my thoughts and my understanding of this life. Now, they may not be the greatest movies of all time, but they've stayed with me. And I want you to ask yourself which movies have shaped your lives as well. And please, share them down in the comments below. Alright, TV series are up first. Spartacus, Blood and Sand. This TV series ran from 2010 to 2013, and it takes the real legend of Spartacus and romanticizes it. And it's not the first time either. In 1960s there was this famous movie called Spartacus by Stanley Kubrick and starring Kirk Douglas, which already immortalizes the figure. But you may have heard of this multiple Oscar-winning movie called Gladiator by Ridley Scott.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
And Mr. Scott said that he also was really influenced by Spartacus. But the legend of Spartacus is fascinating. One man, a soldier, betrayed and then captured as a slave and made to fight other men as a gladiator. He rises through the ranks and becomes a god amongst men. He then escapes and makes life interesting for a lot of people. At the peak he gathered around 70,000 people and made Roman Empire tremble. One man, with the strength and focus and a sheer force of will. Although historians claim that freeing all the slaves was not his primary target, he did show to countless generations what freedom means. So in a TV series you'll see a man's journey who lost everything change the history forever. So you will see how cruel a man can be, how important freedom is, and what life was supposedly like. Lots of the ideas and the tactics in the series was taken directly from the history books, so it's a really well-made show, with awesome casting. Sean Hanna is a rock star.
A man must accept his fate, or be destroyed by it.
As well as the rest of the cast, just absolutely perfect casting. The language they use is trying to be accurate to the times with lots of inventive swearing. And the politics and schemes are highly interesting and entertaining to watch, and you will also start to root for the bad guys. But what I love about the first season is how they make you feel anger and hate towards the bad guys, and then they actually release it. I haven't seen that done in any of the shows before. Now it uses a lot of CGI and lots of slow motion. You begin to laugh how much they use it. And also there's lots of blood and gore. But it's very stylized, because at the time it wanted to resemble the movie 300. But I love how the blood and gore is not so real and so violent as portrayed in the Vikings or Game of Thrones. It has more of an artistic expression to it. So it is not suited for sensitive people and people with weak stomachs. But try to look past the violence and the nudity and everything, and it is a really important history lesson and everybody should see it. Now the next series is actually an anime, and I gotta tell you, I'm not a big fan of anime. I guess I'm a normie by their standards. A normie is a person who watches anime only if it's mega popular. Konnichiwa, goodbye, I don't know, I find it a bit cringy. But art is really subjective, and you have to explore to find some new favorites. There are many awesome anime movies and TV series out there that might pleasantly surprise you, and I've watched some that pleasantly surprised me. I'm gonna tell you about the most famous one. So Death Note starts with a guy named Kira who is really into justice. He wants to become a police officer and all that. And one day he walks and finds on the ground a notebook which has instructions inside, and it reads that if you write somebody's name in it, that person will die in 40 seconds. Now with this newfound godlike power, Kira decides to kill all the bad guys in the world, because that's what you do, right? Of course, by doing something so dramatic, he risks of becoming a big bad himself. So, a clever detective called L starts to hunt him down. Now, how do you hunt somebody with no voice or face or no personal connection with the victims? Well, it's a battle of the minds. What I love about Death Note is it explores the worlds of logic, analysis, critical thinking, strategy and justice. It's like a deadly game of chess between these two really smart, calculated players. And since it's not your typical Hollywood production, it does things very differently. It will surprise you with lots of twists and turns. It's also for many people an entry point for the world of anime. I definitely started to respect the genre more, so if you can get past the cartoony Japanese thing, you will totally love it. And also there's two versions of it, Japanese of course, and the English one. And the English one is not dubbed, but they really have professional voice actors who do a really good job giving personal voices to each character. Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free, you can't take the sky from me. Only running for a short 14 episodes, and before prematurely being cancelled by some fearful moronic reasons, this sci-fi space western TV series, Firefly, captured the hearts of millions. Now let this fact speak for itself. After the show was cancelled, fans, thousands of fans, collected money from their own pockets for the continuation and making of the series. The Joss Whedon, director of the Firefly, and also director of Buffy and Angel, and director of Avengers 1 and 2 Marvel movies, he made a sequel called Serenity, a movie which cost $50 million, which ties in all the loose questions and everything, and he financed that almost entirely out of his own pocket. So it's a project of love, and one of my all-time favorite TV series in the world. Set in 2517, it's a story about a renegade crew of a ship called Serenity. Now there are 9 different people who you will all come to love. They take lots of odd jobs to just stay one step ahead of the authority, to find their home and their freedom among the stars. I don't want to talk more about the story, because otherwise I would be rambling here for hours. But let me just tell you that a lot of adventures will ensue. The effects are awesome, the music is brilliant, the writing is really clever with multiple twists that will keep you guessing, the dialogue is witty and refreshing, the characters are really well fleshed out, and the casting is, well, I don't know, if they would ever make a remake, I probably would not watch it because I can't picture anybody else in the roles. I know this little tiny review doesn't do justice at all to this, my favorite TV series of all time. I watched it countless times, but it's not about space, it's not about science, it's about people just trying to survive and make the best of their lives.
Well, shiny.
Grab your popcorn, it's movie time. 2006 movie Peaceful Warrior is about an Olympic gymnast, a young arrogant college dude who only pursues pleasure. Now one night he meets an old wise man in a gas station, which he jokingly names Socrates. Now Socrates was a Greek philosopher with famous quotes like unexamined life is not worth living, define yourself, think for yourself. Socrates is played excellently by Nick Nolte, like 5 out of 5, excellent performance. Then one day the young dude's life just shatters. Now, will he be able to put the pieces back together? What does he learn from it? The movie primarily is aimed at the age group where the main character is, which is in his early 20s, where the life doesn't really make sense and you're still looking out for new ideas and everything. And I saw it at the time as well, when I was like 20, 21. But it's really interesting to see when you're older as well, because you interpret the same ideas differently. The movie, it has a lot of wisdom in it. About humility, about looking inside yourself, about staying in the here and now, how to organize your thoughts, how to find the meaning in life. And most of it is based on Buddhist teachings, but I love how it's not preaching. It's a bit of a woo-woo wrapped in a nice story, and that's, I think, why I love books by Paulo Coelho as well, where the deep life philosophies are explained through stories. But don't think about the religious aspect of film too much. Just take it as an inspiring movie of when life breaks you down, but you still find strength and love and beauty in it. Nominated for 7 Oscars and topping the IMDb leaderboards, Shawshank Redemption is a story about 2 men bonding in prison over a number of years. It teaches us that with small acts of kindness and common decency, eventually you will find solace and peace in life. And eventually you will find redemption. It shows that persistence and determination will eventually let us win. Now Morgan Freeman's soothing voice and Tim Robbins' stoic, calm demeanor, it just grips you and never lets you go throughout the movie. It made me think about freedom and self-reflection. I remember when I had to serve 8 months of defense force where my life was not entirely my own, and I found myself thinking about all the things I would do if I only had my freedom. I can't imagine what life is like for some people who have life sentences. The best quote of the movie is, "Get busy living or get busy dying." The movie is, simply put, a masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? You know, I thought long and hard for my third movie, but I couldn't come up with a single one, so allow me to do a little jig while I list all the movies that I was considering. Wow, a lot of ideas about personal freedom. Speaks a lot about the character. Now, of course, there are countless other movies and books and TV series and music that lent their inspiration in shaping my personality, like Star Wars or Friends or Sherlock Holmes or Gilmore Girls. Anybody? And so many others. So, have you seen any of these movies? What are your thoughts? And if you have any influential movies that shape your life, please share them down in the comments below. I would love to see what you think. Stay safe, stay home, but keep on exploring. I see you in the next one.